So hi, so it's Ken again. We're back to do another film. Oh god, he's so annoying. Back again. Yeah, back again. We're gonna do some qigong stretches today. So let's get straight into it. So you're standing with your feet about the same distance as your hips or your shoulders apart. Your feet are parallel to each other, so the same distance between the inside of the big toes, heels, and your knees. So softening your knees. You're not locking your legs out. You're not sinking too low either. We want to really sitting into the sinuous strength, the Jing power of the body. We're going to do the Jin Jing today, the muscle tendon changing classic. So I want you to imagine you have a long ponytail on the top of the head. Imagine this is tied up to the ceiling. So the feeling as if you're suspended from above. Imagine you have a ball in your belly, a fist-sized ball about 3 fingers below the belly button and in the center of the body, closer to the spine than to the front of the body. And I want you to feel as if you're tensing or clenching that fist-sized ball, tensing inside like you're holding in a bit of flatulence. Yeah, and I want you to use that tense and that clenching to sink the ribs, fill the lower back, and to push the sacrum forwards. Then feel as if the whole of the pelvic area is hanging down from our suspension from above, hanging down plump. And feel like you're sitting down as well. So with the top of the legs meet the buttocks, you have this groove, the gluteal sulcus. Feel as if you're sitting down onto here and releasing and relaxing into your legs as if you were sitting down. So again, sitting into that connectivity between the soft, stretchy connective tissue inside the body. So that's the sinew, the myofascia, and the muscles. They can stretch as well as long as they're not too excessively tense. Just hanging down, sitting down into your legs, sitting down to that sinuous strength of the body. And hopefully you feel the weight of the body compressing itself against the ground, and then you feel a pushing up. So like loading up springs with the weight of the body, and you feel that energy pushing up. Tongue is on the roof of the mouth. You have the feeling as if the ears are being pulled back to pull the neck back against the collar of a shirt. You have a lifting feeling behind. Put your mind, your awareness, your thoughts, your intent into that ball in the belly, and just start to turn it from side to side. Turning it from side to side. Just turning away. Just opening up the joints, loosening up the joints. Turning. And I did go into more detail in these waist turning exercises in a previous film called the waist turning gung. But do that one as long as you feel comfortable. Okay, so into the Yi Jing Jing, the muscle tendon changing classic. So it's been around for a very long time. So there's quite a few variations out there. I do a couple of them, and this is the favorite way I like to do it. I learned this off of a guy called Master Zhao Dong, who now I believe teaches at Wudang Mountains. Teaches like a Sanfeng style Tai Chi at Wudang in China. So we're going to start with our feet hip distance, shoulder apart, parallel to each other. Breathing in through your nose to your lower abdomen. Make your hands into quite tight fists. Breathe in, coming up. My arms are going to go out of view here, but I'm just going to turn my fists in towards each other. Then I'm going to sink down. Sitting down, keep the sacrum pushed forwards, keep the knees and arm of the toes, sinking down, keep the feet flat on the floor. If you can, touch your fists onto your toes, onto your feet, and then straighten your legs. You're extending all the back of the legs, flexing at the hips, the buttocks, extending down your arms, tensing, clenching at your center to protect the lower back, holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. I tend to hold my stretches for about 10 seconds. Make sure you're breathing. Nice deep breaths. Feel that lengthening up the back of the legs, bend the knees or soften the knees and feel that contracting back. Sink down into the heels, tensing, clenching, pushing down through the feet with that tensing in the belly, then pushing up like a superhero taking off. Make sure you're not sticking your ribs out. Make sure you're not curving in the lower back, still pushing the sacrum forward, stretching all the way up the front of the body here, extending the body up, looking up as well, holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Again, I tend to hold my stretches for about 10 seconds or 10. I just count to 10 in my head. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose if you can. I know I'm breathing out in and out through my mouth, but I'm talking quite fast here, aren't I? So breathing in and out through the nose if you can. Then relax and feel the elastic recoil of this stretch. Sink down, breathing in, push your arms up. And breathing out as if you're diving into a pool of water in between your feet. Softening your knees, keep your knees and arms of the toes, sinking down through the center of the feet. Touch your fists onto the top of the foot, the dorsal part of the foot, then straighten your legs. Pushing the sacrum forwards, tensing, clenching it in the center to fill the lower back. Holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Really feel it up the back of the legs, feel it in the calf muscles, the soleus muscles, got the hamstrings, stretching out the buttocks here, protecting the lower back by sinking the ribs, tensing at the center to fill the lower back, extending down your arms, holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Then relax again, soften the knees and just feel that elastic recoil of those stretches, sinking down to the heels, keep the knees along the toes, tensing, clenching, push the sacrum forwards, and stretching up. Again, make sure you're not sticking the ribs or the lower back. You're not sticking the ribs out, not sticking the chest out. You're not curving in the lower back. Push the sacrum forward, sink the ribs to fill the lower back. Holding this stretch. My palms, if they're open, my hands are still in fists. The palms will be facing towards each other, looking up, holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. It's about 10 seconds, isn't it? Okay, coming down. Drop your weight onto your right leg and turn your waist to your right to turn your left toes in. Sink down to the left foot, turn those right toes out. Extend your arms out in front of you. Take a breath in, just move to stay where you are. Take a breath in. Breathing out, sinking down to the right leg. Inclining forwards at the hips. Keep that lengthening up the back of the body. Keep your right toes pointing up and dropping down. So your right toes are pointing up. You're sinking down the left foot is right underneath your center line here. Holding this stretch. You feel this up the back of the extended leg. Feel it in the buttocks. Again, make sure you're not hunching the head forwards, as if you're touching your neck against the collar of a shirt. Sinking the ribs to fill the lower back. Tensing, clenching at your center to fill the lower back. Holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. So stretching up the right leg, compressing the left leg against the ground, then breathing in, release that compression. Use the elastic recoil of that stretch. Touch your right toes onto the floor, then stretching up. And again, my hand's probably gone out of view here. You're stretching up and the palms are facing in towards each other. Not directly, kind of facing in and upwards ever so slightly. Sinking the ribs to fill the lower back, pushing the sacrum forwards, sitting down into that rear. What is that? That's your left leg, holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. You're stretching all the way up the front of the body here. From the toes of the outstretched foot, all the way up the front of the body, to the neck and up your arms as well. Holding the stretch, but you're not holding the breath. And relax. Sinking, your arms come down, touch the right heel onto the floor. Just let gravity pull you forwards here, just sinking down, neutralizing down through your body, at the same time lengthening the connective tissue of the back of your outstretched leg. Sitting down into that rear leg, into your left leg, holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Make sure your right toes are pointing straight up and towards you, not going left or right. Make sure you're not letting the head hang forwards here, you're not sticking your chest out, chin's tucked in, holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Feel yourself compressing your left leg against the ground, feel that lengthening all the way at the back of the extended right leg. Feel the energy contained in that compression and the lengthening, and release it and use it to bring you up. Touch the front of your right foot onto the ground and stretching up. Stretching up, looking up. Make sure you're not sticking the chest or the ribs out in the front of the body. You're not curving in the lower back. Sitting down onto that rear leg. Make sure you're not locking out your left leg. Feel this stretch all the way up from the outstretched, the toes of the outstretched foot up the front of the body to the neck and up your arms. Holding the stretch, not the breath. And feel the elastic recoil. Sinking down, pivot round to the other side. Outstretch your left foot this time. Arms out in front of you, take a breath in. Breathing out, lowering yourself down. Sinking down into that right leg. Lengthening all up the front of the extended left leg. Make sure you're not hunching the back. Feel as if the neck's touching against the collar of an imaginary shirt. Your left toes are pointing up and towards you. Feel this compressing your right leg against the ground. Stretching or extending all up the back of your extended left leg here. Holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. And feel the energy in this compressed leg and at the back of this extended leg here. Release it, elastic recoil, release the compression. Touch the front of your right foot down onto the floor. Your left foot, raise the left heel, stretching up. Holding the stretch. So you're extending all the way up the front of from the toes of your extended left leg, all the way up the front of the body into the neck and up your arms. Holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Again, make sure you're not sticking the chest, the ribs out, you're not excessively curving in the lower back. So you're not putting all the weight of the body into the lower back, erector spinal muscles in the lower back. Then release, elastic recoil. Touch the heel of your extended leg or foot out, inclining forwards, just neutralizing down. Again, toes up and towards you. Sitting down into the supporting leg here, so the upper body is above that supporting leg there, extending all the way up the back of if you mirror me, up the back of your left leg. Holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Feel the energy in this compressed leg. Feel the energy in that lengthening up the back of your extended leg. Connect with it, release it, and use it to push you up. Touch the toes or the front of your left foot onto the ground. Looking up, stretching up, make sure you're not sticking the chest or the ribs out, you're not excessively curving in the lower back. Really sitting down into that supporting leg and feel that extension all the way up the front of the body, from the toes of the outstretched foot all the way up the front of the body to your neck and up your arms. Holding the stretch, not the breath. And release. Bring your feet back to shoulder width apart, hip distance, hands back into fists, and the remaining fists for the remainder of these stretches. So mirror me here, breathing in. Take your left arm up here, breathing in, turning to the left, and breathing out, sinking down, bend your knees, keep the knees along the toes, punching your left fist down towards your right toes. Stretching up with your right fist, straighten your legs. Carefully if you do have any problems with the knees here, and look up towards the fist in the air. So you feel this, you're really working up the back of the legs again. You feel that lengthening all the hamstrings, the femoral biceps, back of the legs there, holding the stretch but you're not holding your breath. Then soften the knees, feel that elastic recoil of the legs, bring yourself up, moving from your center, tensing, clenching, breathing in, like drawing a bow, pull your right fist up, breathing out, then punch your right fist down towards your left foot here, pushing up with your left fist, straighten your legs, if you can touch the fist onto your foot as well, looking up, straighten the legs, settling down into the center between the two legs, tensing, clenching at your center to protect the lower back, holding the stretch but you're not holding your breath, holding the stretch but you're not holding your breath. Then relax, coming up, breathing in, and breathing out. Everything moving together. Everything moving together. Everything finishes together. So straighten the legs, touch the fist onto the foot, looking up towards the fist in the air, protecting your lower back by tensing, clenching at your center, evenly stretching up the back of each leg. Then release. Feel the elastic recoil. Breathing in. Drawing a bow, breathing out, releasing, punching, turning from the waist, punching your right fist down towards your left foot, punching up with the left fist, straightening your legs, looking up towards the fist in the air, settling down, centering between the two legs. You have an even stretch at the back of each leg, holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. And soften your knees, elastic recoil, sinking down to the heels, moving from your center, turning, breathing in and breathing out, punching up and over to the side with your left fist, punching behind you with your right fist, turning. So you feel a spiral all the way through the body here, spiraling through your skeletal system, softening the joints, holding the stretch but you're not holding your breath. Quite extensive here, expansive, then relax. Turning to your left, breathing in, punching up with your right fist in front of you, punching behind you with your left fist, looking behind you ever so slightly. Feel a nice even spiral all the way through the body, holding the stretch. You're spiraling through the joints, make sure you're not twisting your knees, sinking the lower ribs on the front of the body to fill the lower back, holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Really relaxing, opening the joints. And relax, turning, breathing in, and breathing out. Punching to the other side. Again, you're not putting excessive strain onto any individual joints. You have a nice even rotation, spiraling up through the body, lengthening of the connective tissue and the muscles. Again, if the muscles are excessively tense, you can't lengthen them. The muscle fibers have potential of lengthening. When they lengthen, they firm up as much as they need to. So you're not just tensing them, you're letting them firm up with the extension of the body. Then relax, elastic recoil, coiling back, breathing in and breathing out. Going to the other side here, feel this nice even spiral all the way up through the body. Nice even spiral all the way through the body. Make sure you're not twisting your knees, you're not curving in, you're not excessively curving in the lower back. And relax. Bring your feet together. Bring your feet, if the feet are on the face of the clock, the left will be pointing to somewhere between 10 and 11, right foot somewhere between 1 and 2. Sitting down into the heels, breathing in, pushing up onto your tiptoes, stretching up here, stretching up. And then tensing, clenching your center to sink the ribs, fill the lower back, and slow yourself down. Keep the heels off the ground here. You're going to be a bit of a digigrade here, balancing on your toes, sinking down, sink the ribs to fill the lower back, sinking down, straight down, sinking down, lowering down, and sit down. Sitting down, sink the ribs to fill the lower back. Only go down as far as is comfortable for you. Only go down as far as is comfortable for you. It's the same with all this stuff, working towards your capabilities. Tensing, clenching at your center. Use that to push down, keep the sacrum pushed forward, bringing yourself up. The heels touch down to the ground, straightening your legs, take a breath in, and breathing out, incline forwards here. Inclining forwards, arms above you. So you have a lengthening all at the back of the legs, extending the legs. You have a lengthening extension all the way up your back here. You're flexing at your hips. If you can, I can't really tell here, but you want to try and get the upper body parallel to the floor. So you're making like a right angle with your body here. Like the lady on the front of a Rolls Royce here. Holding this stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Then soften your knees and feel that lengthening, that elastic recoil. Sinking into the heels, tensing, clenching, pushing up onto the tiptoes again, onto the digits. Up, make sure you're not sticking the chest of the ribs out, tensing, clenching at your center like you're holding a bit of flatulence, and use that to lower yourself down. Use it to connect the whole body internally and lower yourself down. Nice even lowering down, no speeding up, just lowering down, lengthening all the way down, then sitting down, holding the stretch. Again, make sure you're not sticking the ribs or the ribs or the chest out. You're not excessively curving in the lower back. Sitting down, your heels are raised, so you're like a digigrade animal here, an animal that walks around on its toes. Holding the stretch, not the breath. Then feel the body compressed, and release that compression. Bring yourself up. Bring yourself up. The heels touch down. You straighten the legs. Take a breath in. Breathing out. Inclining forwards from the hips. Extending all the back of the body, up the back of the legs. Just flexing out the hips. The arms above your head. Again, you want to try and get the upper body so it's parallel to the floor. You feel that lengthening all the back of the body. Making a right angle with your body. Holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Holding the stretch, but not holding your breath. And soften the knees. Sit down to the heels. Moving from your center. Bring yourself up. Now turn your heels out, turn your toes in. So the inguinal crease at the top of the legs are folded in here. Make sure you're not sticking your bum out here. Sink the ribs, feel the low back. Breathing in, coming up. Stretching up. Again, like diving into a pool in between the feet. So like the first exercise we did here. Keep the knees in line with the toes, keep feet flat on the floor. Sinking down, if you can, touch your fists onto your feet and then straighten your legs. Feet flat on the floor. You have 3 points of contact with each foot on the floor. The 2 balls behind the toes and the balls at the heel. You want these to be in contact with the floor. So you're not pushing towards the outside of the feet, so lifting the inside of the foot up. Stretching all the way at the back of the leg. Extending down your back, down your arms. Bend the knees, keep the knees on the toes. Sit down into the heels. Push the sacrum forwards, breathing in. And breathing out, stretching up. Stretching up without sticking the chest of the ribs out. Stretching up. Holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Extending all the way up the front of the body. And relax. Breathing in. Breathing out, like diving into a pool of water in between your feet, just dropping down through your connective tissue, through the body here. Nice smooth movement down, fluid movement. Extend your legs, touch the fists onto your feet, holding the stretch, but you're not holding your breath. Really feel it in the glutes and the hamstrings. Sinking the ribs to fill the lower back. You shouldn't be feeling it in the lower back here. You should be engaging your deep frontal line, your core, your center. Relax, sit down, keep the knees along the toes, sitting down to the heels, move from your center, push the sacrum forwards, breathing in. And breathing out, extending up, extending up, extending up. Make sure you're not sticking the chest of the ribs out, not excessively curving in the lower back, feet flat on the floor. Then release, release. Coming down and just hit into the inguinal crease. Inguinal crease is at the top of the leg, hitting around all the buttocks, around the buttocks, the lower back. With the shoulders a bit of a hit here underneath the armpits and the thighs, the hamstrings, down the back of the legs, the calves, shins. Just rub down, rub as hard as is comfortable for you. Oh. That can be finished there, so give it a go. Rewind the film. I know it's not filmed, so just go back to the beginning, watch it again, and I'll see you in the next film. So I'll say goodbye for now.